Merhaba, hi everyone, this is Ayşenur Altan. Welcome to Turkish Food Recipes. In this episode, I have a very popular dessert recipe that has a fluffy cake and milky syrup topped with caramel sauce, trileçe. Here in Turkey, it is known that it comes from Balkan region, but when I made a little search, I found out it is very popular in Latin America, especially in Mexico too. Trileçe comes from tree milk, which is milk, condensed milk and evaporated milk, but in Turkey we say tree milk is cow, sheep and goat milk. But since we can't find it easily, we use heavy cream, milk and top it with delicious caramel sauce. Since I always prefer using fresh possible ingredients and our heavy cream has thickening agent and other stuff too, I made little changes in the recipe and it turned out very good indeed. So let's get started. First we will make the sponge cake. I have 4 large eggs separated. As you probably know, the white should not have yellow part in it, otherwise it won't get fluffy. I'm also going to use 1 pack of each vanilla and baking powder, pinch of salt, 3/4 cup of sugar, 1 cup plus 1 heaply tablespoon flour, 4 tablespoon water and only a tablespoon of vegetable oil. First I'm going to whisk the egg whites with pinch of salt and 2 tablespoons of the sugar. I will continue to whisk until frothy and fluffy. After this moment, don't whisk it too much or it intends to get dry. Now I will transfer the whites to another bowl, and to the same bowl I put the egg yolks and sugar. And I'm going to whisk them until light and pale yellow color, about 3-4 minutes. In the half time I added 4 tablespoons water and 1 tablespoon oil in it. We have the dry ingredients now left. I'm going to sift the flour, baking powder and vanilla together. If you prefer vanilla extract, you can add it in the last time. But please don't skip the sifting part. I alternately incorporate the dry ingredients to the egg mixture using whisk and spatula, and then edit the egg whites by folding them together and being careful not to deflate the air in the cake mixture. As you can see, I add the egg whites in 3 times in 3 batches, so I can fold them easily. Here I used 40 to 27 cm rectangular baking pan. If you want your trileçe higher, you can use one size smaller, but I think after soaking the milk syrup it was in good height. And don't forget to place a baking paper on the bottom of the pan because we will need it. Pour the cake mixture evenly and it is ready to go to the preheated 165 Celsius degree oven with fan open until it is light golden color on top and bottom. In the meantime, I will prepare the milk syrup. And now, leaving all kinds of canned and packed milk product, here is the fresh new ingredient for my trileçe. It's simply just fresh milk, comes from farm near us. I will use 3.5 cup milk and adding near half cup of sugar, again not too much, it will be a light but yummy dessert. What I did to fresh milk is just I boiled the milk and rested in the refrigerator for 1 day and collected the kaymak, the cream comes from the milk. I will hopefully share another video for making kaymak. I will add this kaymak to my syrup instead of condensed milk or evaporated milk and whisk it together. By the way, did you know that this dessert comes after invention of canned milk products in mid-80s? and was a hit after a big company printed the recipe on their can. You can read more about it in the info section, and if you know more, please share with us. So after little history, let's make the homemade caramel sauce. It is very simple but has important tips. I have half cup sugar. I turn the heat on low to melt, and I will keep my eye on it. Meantime, for the heavy cream of my caramel sauce, I will use 1 full tablespoon kaymak cream, and I pour more full fat milk again until it is 150 milliliter. Since I was experimenting at the same time, I used less, but it is better if you make it 200 milliliter to have a more caramel sauce. Also, if you can't find the fresh milk or you just want to use a heavy cream, just use 200 milliliter heavy cream and that's it. So my sugar is melting. You have to be careful not to burn it after a while. The sugar is almost melted, so I just stirred a little. I'm looking for a golden caramel color, but not too dark because it gets a bit bitter in taste when it is too dark, so I have to check it. Now it's ready. I add 1 tablespoon butter, and after it melts, I will add my heavy cream. Since my cream is cold, it will turn the mixture hard, so it is okay, but be careful with the steam coming out. It's very hot. Eventually it will melt again, everything, and just stir continuously on low heat. In the meantime, my cake was ready, so I got it from the oven to cool down. It looks very spongy. I rush to my caramel sauce again. I will use a whisker for the leftover hard parts of the sugar. You can see the difference clearly. After a while, it becomes a thick sauce. It will get hardened when it cools down, so just make it a little bit thinner than a regular sauce you wanna have. My caramel sauce is ready, so I will turn off the heat. From start to finish, it took about 15 minutes to make my caramel. So I'm gonna put it to a new cup to cool down. It is important to use a cooled caramel sauce, otherwise with the cream on top we're gonna pour now, it melts everything because it's really hot now. My sponge cake is cooled down. I turn over to a cooling rack and get the baking paper out and transfer it again without turning it out again. So the bottom of the cake is on top right now. This way it will look more neatly on top. Before I pour the milk syrup, I just dot it from everywhere so it soaks the milk syrup better. I'm going to put the cake to refrigerator to cool down, and in the meantime I prepare the whipped cream. So in Turkey, for whipped cream we have these powders. It's creme shanti. You just mix it with cold milk. You can also whip heavy cream for this. In America we used to make that. I'm sure you have similar things as whipped cream in your region wherever you live. So I, as you see, covered the cake over with the whipped cream I had. Just leave about 1 tablespoon for the decoration and put it in a piping bag. So my cake waited in the refrigerator for 2 hours and also the caramel sauce cooled down. So I put the last layer my caramel sauce over and gently spread over it. And here is the best fun part, the decoration. I'm just piping the whipped cream in strips and make a pattern with wooden skewer from one side to another and then reverse. It is better if your trileçe dessert cools down completely for 4 hours in refrigerator. Let's have one piece from the cake and look inside. I don't know how can I describe to you this delicious taste, but with sponge cake, milk syrup and topped with caramel sauce, it's really full of flavor but at the same time very light, so you want to eat the second and third piece actually. But at this record I was fasting in Ramadan, so I didn't try. But after iftar it was vanished in no time. So I hope you try my version of this delicious trileçe recipe. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to share your photos if you try from my Instagram and Facebook account. I hope to see you in another delicious Turkish food recipes. Afiyet olsun.